Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sophia and it's really nice to have you around. I initially created this channel to help me navigate my journey with minimalism and help others do the same. And slowly but surely, it's also become the place where I document my travels. So I've combined my passion for minimalism with my love for travel and kind of made it my life focus to focus a little bit less on material things and a little bit more on experiences and adventure. I don't know how this filming setup is going to work because I have the sun blasting in my face, but we're just gonna go with it. So today the video I have for you guys is 24 things I'm not buying in 2024. I promise the things on this list are not boring, usual, typical things, and they're meant to challenge you to kind of see if you can eliminate them from your life this year if you want to. I do believe that there are things that were either eating up space in my home, eating up money from my bank account, or just like mental space. So without rambling on a lot more, let's get right into it. I love how I just said that the things on this list were not going to be typical when the first thing on this list is very typical, but there's a little twist to it, so please bear with me. First thing on my list is physical books. The keyword here being physical. I do not want to buy any more physical books in 2024 because I do have quite a handful of books that I still need to get through before I want to add any more to my library. But I will be allowing myself to buy ebooks and audiobooks for two reasons. One, because I travel a lot, and so to keep myself entertained on the airplane and things, I have to have something on me, and I get really bored of TV shows after a while. And two, because they don't clutter my space. So I don't have a problem with buying an ebook that's just gonna be in my e-reader, but I need to be more intentional about the physical books that I end up adding to my library and keeping long term. So the second thing on my list is house decor. I actually just finished our living room. It was the last room in our house that kind of needed to be decorated still, and I'm really happy with the amount of decoration we have in our house. And so I want to challenge myself to not buy any more decor this year. The only exception I will make is, for example, if I manage to sell something from our decor, let's say that I get tired of the pillowcases in our living room and I want a different color. If I manage to sell those, I can use that money to buy new ones, so I can replace them, but I cannot spend money on it. So I'm excited to challenge myself to do that. If you are looking to reduce the amount of things you buy or the amount of things you bring to your home, this is actually a great challenge to try out. Challenge yourself to only buy things with the money you make from the sale of other things. 3 is travel specific things. I am really bad about not buying something new when I'm going on a trip for that trip. For example, I just went to Norway last month. I can leave the video card link for that here as well. And it was snowing there, and so I bought myself snow boots. And don't get me wrong, these snow boots are gonna come in very handy because we're going on another snow trip this year, and they were very inexpensive, they were on sale. However, what on earth am I gonna do with these snow boots for the rest of the year? I live in Portugal. It's literally sunny all year round, so there's no point in me buying more of these things. So I'm also really bad about like buying a new top to go on a new little trip or whatever. And since I'm making travel such a big part of my life, like this year I have a goal to go on 12 big trips during the 12 months of the year, and I'm very much on track. I cannot be buying new things every time I have a new trip because it's just not sustainable. 4 is holiday or birthday cards. 2 reasons for this. 1, I have amassed an enormous pile, and I say enormous, it's just this tiny little drawer, but I have amassed a collection of holiday cards. I buy those like packs, those jumbo packs that have like, you know, like happy birthday or like welcome little one for baby showers. And I did this to make my life easier because I didn't want to have to go out and buy expensive individual holiday cards every time it was somebody's birthday. I'm really bad at using them. So I've challenged myself to use up the pack that I have this year in combination with getting a little bit craftier. So if I do run out of cards, which is gonna be, you know, impressive, but if I do, I wanna challenge myself to, you know, maybe buy a little piece of cardboard and make the card myself or make a little watercolor drawing on it. But I definitely wanna stop spending like €4 or $4 on cards. There's just no point. I have this tablecloth. This is so oddly specific, and bear with me, but we recently got really into hosting, and so I decided I was gonna have really beautiful tablecloths so I could set up really beautiful tables for my guests, and it's gotten out of control. So I've decided that I'm not buying any more tablecloths this year. Number 6 are TV subscriptions. I got to a point where I let a lot of these subscriptions kind of like suck money out of my bank account every month, and I wasn't noticing. And I realized, for example, that I had HBO or HBO Max, and I was only watching one show on there, which was Friends. And so I was paying €8 a month just to watch Friends, and I realized I could just buy the show and buy the DVD and have that forever and get rid of my monthly subscription, which is way cheaper than just keeping it. And so if you have any subscriptions that are like this, that are giving you just one use, and you could find a cheaper way to kind of compensate for it, I recommend you take a look at it. 7 is a gym subscription. I do not want to get a gym subscription this year, in combination with having a little like makeshift gym in our attic, which we kind of remodeled. I live in the most beautiful place. I have a literal beach right outside my house. There's like a boardwalk. There's so many places I could go for a walk, for a run, do a little outside workout, especially because we've already gotten through like the thick of winter. I want to challenge myself to go exercise outside, or if I want to use weights, or if I'm doing something that requires material, to go upstairs to our gym. Number 8 is hobby related materials. I get way too excited about new hobbies sometimes. I do think I have a little bit of ADHD. I get really passionate about something and then I drop it like this. I have a sewing machine I bought that I've used 3 times. I have like embroidery kits that I've actually used fairly recently. But point being, I have collected a lot of different little crafts materials, and I want to use them this year instead of buying new ones. So if I feel myself wanting to try a new hobby, I'm just going to try to refocus that energy into watching a YouTube video or tutorial on something I already have. Number 9 are organization items. I recently filmed a video talking about my 50 like best favorite organization hacks slash organization items that I have throughout my house, and I feel like I've gotten to a great point, and so I do not want to be buying any more of these items. But keep an eye out for that video. Like, I have this little sticker on my kitchen wall that holds up my mop and helps it dry much faster, and it cost me like 50 cents. So I have a whole video coming on that. Keep your eye out for that. But I do not feel like I need any more, and so I'm deciding that I've stopped. Like, this is it. If I need anything else, I'll just reuse a jar or a box from something. 10 is kind of related, but it's cleaning items. I now have 2 Swifers, a regular one and one of those wet ones that kind of like spray water. I have a Dyson vacuum cleaner, and I have this cool little mop that allows you to like spin out all the water from the mop thing. It's one of those Valletta ones. I'll leave a picture here. But I don't need any more, and sometimes I get really excited about like new functions and characteristics about these cleaning things, and I feel like I just aged myself a lot on camera by saying that, but it's true. I get excited about those, and so I don't want to be adding any more to my house because I really don't need any more. 11 is really random, but it is flights to places where I've already been. I am trying really hard to see as much of the world as I can before I'm too old or too sick or too something to do it. And so I've decided that I'm going to be very intentionally trying to visit new places every time I travel somewhere. And if this means that I'm traveling to a country that I've already been to, but I'm going to a different city, that's totally okay. I just want to avoid repeating destination. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely places that I love and want to go back to eventually, but this year specifically, I want to be very intentional about choosing to go to a new place versus choosing to fly to somewhere where I've already been. 12 are candles. I'm not going to go into depth on that because there is no depth to that, but it's just I have too many candles, and so I never burn candles because I'm afraid they'll like hurt my dogs, because apparently like, yeah, the wax something hormones, which I don't know, but I've heard that you have to be really careful with what you burn in your house because it could be detrimental to your health. And so also I have a like deep fear of fire and setting things on fire, or like forgetting a candle and then just like having it set fire to my house. I don't know. It's yeah. So I'm not going to buy any more candles this year, and I feel like that's probably going to be the easiest one on my list because I'm just I'm not a fan of candles. 13 are online courses. I'm a sucker for a good online course. I love paying creators that did such a good job for the work that they did. 2 that come to mind right now, for example, are Matt Devella's YouTube course that I've taken time and time again, and it's so worth the money. Besides, there are so many free classes and stuff online nowadays that I just don't want to be spending money on online courses this year anymore. not until I've like made the best of what's out there for free. 14 are journals and planners. First of all, the only thing I really use consistently is my iCal on my Mac. And second of all, I bought one this January before I made this list, and I'm already not using it. So like, why do I keep doing this? Do you do this too? Like, do you also buy journals that you don't end up using? Because I don't know. I think it's an addiction. I'm not sure. It's not that I have this like intense collection of them. It's just that I feel like every year around this time I buy one with the hopes that I'll become a journaler or a planner user, and I just don't. The one thing I do use a lot are to-do lists, so I'll keep buying those, but no more planners for me. 15 are highlighters. I don't know how this happened, but my collection of highlighters got really out of control in recent years. And I'm just putting a ban on highlighters. Not gonna go into detail on that, but yeah, no more highlighters. Number 16 are useless gifts for other people. I am a sucker for giving people like little gifts and little things I find cute and all of that, but that sucks because I'm a minimalist and I would hate it if people did that to me. And I know that I do it with the best of intentions, you know, like I see something and I think of somebody and I buy it for them, but I need to stop. This year at least, I'm going to focus heavily on gifting experiences or gifting my time. So for friends who have babies, I will gift babysitting hours. For friends who, you know, I don't know, so many things. I can make them food, I can, you know, yeah, I can gift them like a voucher for dinner or movies or whatever. So this year I'm only going to be gifting experiences and not material things. 17 are any app subscriptions. God, I had so many app subscriptions at one point, I can't even tell you. It's embarrassing. I don't know how it happened and I just don't need any more. I feel like you very easily forget about them and then they just keep charging your credit card. And so, yeah. 19 is tea. I recently made the mistake, and by recently I mean in October on my birthday, of telling people that I love tea. And I do love tea, I really do love tea. But I ended up with a bunch of tea as gifts. I think that I got like 4 or 5 different like massive packets of tea leaves that like smell delicious and look delicious, but I just don't consume tea fast enough to drink them all. And so this year I am not buying myself any tea, and I'm just going to challenge myself to go through my own tea collection. 20 is seasonal decor. Every year I focused on a season since we moved to this house. There was a year that I bought like a lot of cute little fall decor, and then the first year we moved in I focused heavily on like our Christmas tree and our Christmas decor. I had to switch my camera really quickly because my battery for my G7X died and I don't have a replacement battery for that camera yet, so I switched over to my Canon EOS M50. As I was saying, I have 4 boxes in my attic. One says spring, one says summer, one says fall, and one says Christmas. Which I've classified as a season apparently, and they're like not huge boxes. The only one that's a little bit bigger is Christmas because of the Christmas tree, and so I don't want to add anything to that. I feel like I'm good on that. 21 are blankets. They have multiplied over the past few years, and I got gifted a blanket for my birthday and then for Christmas, and so I do not need any more blankets. There used to be a point where a lot of people came over and slept over, and both the couch in the office and the living room are sofa beds, so it was pretty handy to have a few extras around, but we really don't need any more, and so no more blankets for me in 2024. 22 is more of a category, but it's a fancy splurge buys. I bought myself the Dyson Airwrap last year during Black Friday because it had like a huge sale. It's something that I've been wanting for a lot of years, and so it's a very conscious decision. And the year before that I bought the Dyson vacuum cleaner, which, yeah, I am a fan of Dyson products. I decided that I'm not going to do any more splurge buys. I did in the end of last year upgrade from my iPhone 12 to an iPhone 15 Plus, but I did write that off as a business expense because I do use my phone to film for this channel and, you know, as my work phone as well. I want to focus all of my extra spending money this year on travel, as I've mentioned, and so I will not be buying any like fancy splurge buys this year. 23 are water bottles. We have way too many water bottles for our own good, and yeah, we don't need that many water bottles. There's only 2 of us. Why do we have so many water bottles? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if this is something that happens in your house as well, but I feel like every time that I kind of declutter our water bottle collection, a new one gets added, either because we get a free one. I don't know. We just have a massive collection now, and so no more. And number 24, last but not least, it's a little bit of a twist on the tablecloths one, but it's just dining sets, tableware, you know, fancy cutlery, serving plates, As I mentioned, we did get very into hosting, and we do love hosting, and I bought a nice little collection of, you know, beautiful plates that I can use to take to the table with the food that I'm serving people, and some of them were gifted to me, some of them I inherited from my grandparents, and so I feel like my collection's good now, and I want to focus on using the things that I have. My list of 24 things I will not be buying in 2024. Let me know what you're adding to your list, or if there's any random specific thing that you've put on your list this year. And if I did give you any good ideas, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I am very much looking forward to seeing you guys in my next video that is coming out in a few days. So with that, thank you so much and see you next time. Bye.